Hello. This video, sorry, I've recorded it a couple of times and it didn't work. But I think I'd just like to talk about how God is real and like he's really, really real. It's not even sure, it's just I know God is real. Really real. He is, I'll say it again, God is real. We are made by a God. We were created by a God. There's no two ways about that. Like, believe me, I've seen it, I've interacted with it, questioned it from every single angle. I've reluctantly gone into church time and time again. I've been shown things I sometimes wish I didn't understand or know. But here we are. And what I also know is that by heaven, by grace, the Spirit of God went into a man called Jesus Christ, who was alive, and he was there to teach us. And the beautiful thing about Jesus is you only got to see his magic if you were willing enough to have faith that he did exist and that he was like a godly, spiritual, he was the Son of God. Yeah. He's only revealed once you're curious enough and willing to have your perceptions, your ego, your pride dismantled, which is beautiful, which is really beautiful. And I've been thinking about the book of Genesis, the very beginning. It's kind of too simple, and if well, as I was intellectualizing this book, I couldn't make sense of it. And then the more I just started reading it as if I was a 3-year-old, I thought, oh yeah, I get it. This is the very beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So, the next page, God creates Adam and Eve. And he says to Adam, you have dominion, look after this place, just one thing, don't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Then he gives Adam a companion, Eve. Eve gets tricked by the serpent to tell Adam to eat from the tree, which he does. Adam becomes self-aware, conscious, ashamed, hides, or tries to hide. And God's like, are you sure, bro? And he's like, I'm sorry, it wasn't me. I don't think he said sorry. I should know that. Anyway. In that is like the whole message of everything we ever need to know is just be faithful, treat God as a humble, wise, understanding father, like be placid and grateful and gentle in his presence. And also the bit before, which is the world is dark and then God puts light into the darkness. So God creates the earth, then he creates Jesus and puts Jesus into the world. And then throughout the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, Jesus repeatedly says, like, I am the light of the world. And if you can't see me, you haven't been touched by the light because you weren't curious. So people of the world are in the darkness and they can't see me and they don't want to see me. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. Yet because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Okay, so the world is dark. It's meant to be dark. It's horrible. We all hate it. And if you do hate it, you're not meant to be here. You're meant to be in Jesus. It's just he hasn't come to you yet, or you haven't knocked on the door to let him in. Like, but if you're enjoying yourself, if you don't see that the world is heading off a cliff and you're enjoying yourself, you're like gratifying, you're full of pleasures, you don't mind that Donald Trump's going into power, you're like completely blasé about the world, the war's going on, you don't care about looking after your neighbour, you're of the world. But there's none of you watching this. The only ones still watching after 5.5 minutes are people that are listening because they know Jesus is real, they know that he is love, and that you don't feel like you're meant to be here. That's the other thing. When we're spirits and this is not our home, we're just here for a season to learn some stuff and for God to understand like who we are and what happens if we're tested and in suffering and in trials and tribulations, how we respond. So that's the other thing throughout the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. God is the vine dresser, the gardener, and he's looking for the right crop, the right fruit to harvest. That's how he describes it. And it sounds quite sinister, and like I've really thought about this deeply, but actually it's some kind of proving ground. I don't know if I agree with it, but like really, what do I know? Seriously, I have no perspective. All I can see is whatever's in my vision, and there's nothing. It's literally a drop in the ocean, less in terms of what God knows and understands about me and the world and everything that's in it and the whole infrastructure and architecture of humanity and time and space and the whole continuum. So I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. That's a really cool thing. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. I think that means people he's not interested in, he just leaves them to it. Like, gratify yourself. Be evil. Like, hoard resource. Get drunk. Waste money on yourself. Like, indulge. Be selfish. He leaves them to it. But the ones he prunes, the ones who go through hardship and suffering and difficulty, are the ones he loves. Which is complicated to get your head around. But it's the being knocked about a bit by God is him shaping you up into something stronger. Like, he's cleaning you up. He's making you into something new, a warrior, a force for good, a force of a pillar of strength. So, yeah. Oh, I feel it. I feel the tingles. Yeah. So it's just, we are of God. We are of God, and we are all connected. And God had to. He had to show us. He had to show us who he was in a subtle way to those who are listening. So like, if you are listening to this, like, you are chosen. You are going to come to God eventually. You're going to realize that Jesus is the Son of God. Everyone else has turned off by now. That's how this works. It's like, I'm not even saying it. It's truth. It's pure truth. Like, you're curious enough to still be listening after like 10 minutes. Because I'm not really saying anything. But like, we should not worry. There is nothing to worry about because God has it all, and this is all temporary. This is not our home. We're just spirits. We're just here to love and connect and share with one another. That is it. So God is gentle and straightforward and kind and forgiving and understanding, and he just wants us to be all of those things to ourselves and to each other as well. So therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. So yeah, my peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. We are, yeah. Okay,